So, in the previous part, we see how to create the basic logic for our units. Now, on this part, it's going to be a significant smaller one because I want to be more focused on the NavMesh agent so that we understand the basics of how the NavMesh agent works and some mistakes I've seen a lot of people do. Okay, and so how we can see how we can set up the NavMesh, the whole NavMesh, so that we can have a lot more control over it. Okay, so let's quickly see how to set up the NavMesh. Now, normally how you see the NavMesh is set up is by have my level all selected over here, and you see that a lot of people what they actually do is enable static on everything, and of course with navigation static they will see that you this tells basically that the navigation that all our meshes over here can actually be used to create the NavMesh, okay, and this of course you have to click bake, and this of course returns us a NavMesh that is something like that. Now of course it's not exactly wrong to use something like this, even though okay these are some pretty ugly stuff, and you can see that it has some hexes or faces, or as you can see over here, that are, you know, they are pretty messy, and that it's not exactly a problem, but we do not have any control over it. Okay, and what I mean by control, because I want the NavMesh has these little areas over here, okay, which by default they have the three layers, okay, walkable, not walkable, and jump, okay, but I want to add more areas for places like this part over here, okay. So I want to create a few layers or areas as we see it over here, so that only my players can go through there. Now if an enemy unit cannot go through an area, then he will either go around, okay, or he will go to the closest point he can reach before moving to the new area. So the logic behind all this and why we have to do it like that is that in case the enemy is chasing us, okay, I want my players to be able to move from some areas like this one, okay, but only if they can crouch, okay. So if the enemy comes over here, he will have to go around, okay, and then you will have to follow our players. He wouldn't be able to follow our players this way. So the actual way that you should probably be making the NavMesh agents is the NavMesh, not the NavMesh agents, okay. I will going to click clear because I do not want to use the previous NavMesh. I'm going to select the level, the game object where I hold all my level beneath it, and then on static I'm going to disable the navigation static, okay, and I'm going to change this to all of the children of our game object. Now if I click navigation, if I click bake, you'll see that it actually does not bake anything because there is no navigation static mesh in the scene, okay. And I'm not even going through all these settings over here, okay. This is not for this video. So the actual way I like to create a NavMesh agent is how I have, as you see, I have another game object that has the NavMesh that I've named it NavMesh also, okay, and all this is quads. Now you cannot see the actual quads right now because I also have a script to enable and disable the NavMesh, the mesh renderers. Now the NavMesh cannot be baked upon colliders. To actually bake a NavMesh, you need to have renderers. Otherwise, you won't be able to pretty much bake a NavMesh. Okay, so let's see the script. This script is pretty basic. Now, never mind this. Okay, an array to have all our renderers. I want to execute this in edit mode and 2 booleans to activate or deactivate the renderers. Okay, pretty simple. Do not forget to activate and deactivate. So, as you will see, I have set up all my mesh renderers over here, and I've also dropped all the renderers I want in here, and I also want to use the colliders, but for the colliders we're going to see on the next parts, because I do not want to use, and now you see the bloom with all the white renderers, and we get this effect. So let's deactivate it. So why I want to use the mesh renderers with but I will also want to use their colliders is because if a character is behind, since I'm going to keep only this rotation for my level, okay, since a character can go behind some walls or something else, okay, when I'm clicking I want to check to see if my character can go on the colliders that is behind the wall. So that's where these colliders come into play. Okay, on the next part we will see how to ignore the colliders that are upon basically the buildings. Anyway, we'll see how we can. Anyway, you will see on the next part. I do not want to complicate this. So, with that in mind, I have set up my meshes, well, pretty much my quads on side my level. Okay, the way I'm doing this is I'm actually creating a new quad, 3D object, quad, okay, rotate it to has the same rotation as pretty much the level, and we actually go in each one and scale it up and down to place it where we want it to be. Now we have set up our level, and if I click navigation over here, I can actually now go and select a single object instead of all renderers. I can select the mesh renderers. Okay, and if I select one quad, I can actually select which navigation area I want this to be included. So if I set it to player only and I click bake, you will see that all this area now is on the layer, or the area is player only. So only NavMesh agents, and we're going to see our NavMesh agents. So you'll see that if you go into the NavMesh agent and click the area mask, okay, we have walk, not walkable, jump, and player only. Now I have deselected this, so if I click play now and I select, let me deactivate the quad. Okay, and if I select my unit and if I click over here, you will see that he actually doesn't come he doesn't come inside the area mask of player only. Okay, he won't come in here. So in tight spaces like this one, where I only want my players to move, I actually use a smaller quad, and you can see it by the smaller collider over here, of course. Let's activate them again. Okay, I'm actually using a different quad, a smaller quad, where I've set up all my areas. Now, let's see if this area was pretty much smaller. So I'm going to set this to walkable. I'm going to rebake, and I also have another quad over here that is also on navigation area is player only. So I'm gonna hit play again, select a unit. Let's deactivate the quads, since we know which one of those. Okay, I'm going to select my unit, and you will see I'm going to click somewhere inside or the other way from the area mask. Now, if I click scene view, and I'm actually click the scene, the navigation, and I'm going to select this, we actually see the NavMesh path that has been created, and by itself it avoids the whole player only, well, pretty much the mask that he cannot go around. Okay, so if I select one of the other guys, let's see, he has the area mask of everything, and if I select him and I click over there, you will see that he can pass without any problems. Now, on next parts, we're going to see how we are going to make them automatically change their stances based on the current area mask they are over. Okay, so with this way we can do effects like I said, okay, create paths or areas where only one type of unit can come or can go, or you can even create different NavMesh areas for you know, you might want to have amphibious characters, but you might only want to have characters that can move only on separate areas. So for instance, if you want to have fish AI, like, you know, you can create a part or a lake that moves the NavMesh agents, but only on the current NavMesh agents that have the area mask enabled. Okay, now this is only the tip of this logic over here, because you can actually, with that in mind, you can actually create off-mesh links. And if you do not know how to use off-mesh links, is if you create an empty game object. Let's place it over here. If you add the component of off-mesh link, you will see that it will give you this to this component. So we need to pass a start point, and let's create another empty. Now the endpoint does not have to use an off-mesh link, but an off-mesh link. And now this, if you take the navigation over here and you put it down below, you will see that you get this kind of circle. Now this kind of circle also has an arrow that says you where is the NavMesh link. Okay, and you can pull it around and you can create custom off-mesh links. Okay, so if you want to jump from one point to another, or you might want to use this for teleporting characters from one place of the level to another. Okay, and if you set this over here, now of course, since this is a child game object, it moves the whole NavMesh, the whole NavMesh link. Now you have a few settings over here. Now cost override, it will count how much, not how much, it will cost on the NavMesh map. If a character is over here, it creates a cost of a path, okay, to say what is more costly, to go around or to go from the NavMesh link. Now -1, it's actually a higher value, so if you set this to 0, then characters that are closer to this point will prefer to go from the NavMesh link instead of going around. Okay, so you can select if you want it to be bi-directional, so if they can go both ways or if they can go only one way. If you want to auto-update positions on the NavMesh links, and of course the navigation area. So if you use player only, then only characters or only agents that have the player only area enabled can move around. Okay, so let's see it in action. Let's hit play. Let's move this character over here, and this player unit has the area mask of everything, so it can move, and he actually does not prefer to go around. Let's see why. Let's enable, let's make it walkable too, and yeah, I'm probably selected a wrong character. Yeah, this character is mixed, so he couldn't go because the area mask was player only. Now that I've set it to walkable, he can probably move around. Now of course this needs a little bit of work, and of course you can override the animations, and all this stuff are things we're going to see on later videos. And you can make him jump around, make cool stuff like you know, cartwheels and all stuff. It all depends on your animations, on the animations you're going to have. Now I think I'm going to cut this part over here. The important thing to know is how to set up a NavMesh, a good NavMesh, not the horrible thing that everybody does with, you know, baking a NavMesh straight on the mesh level. So if you have a better, so basically if you need to set up a different mesh so that you can bake the NavMesh upon quads, okay, so that you can have more control. Now of course, and there is also nothing stopping you to create more areas, okay, like enemies only or whatever, and you can actually set the costs. So if you have two areas over here, let's enable this again. So if you have two quads with different areas, oops. Okay, we have these two quads. Let's say they are two. Now I'm going to change the cost of, let's create this again. I'm going to change the cost to enemies only to 2 and player only to 1. Okay, and I'm going to set this to player only and this quad to enemies only. I'm going to click bake, and you will see that we have 3 different areas right now. Now if I hit play, no matter what, I'm always forgetting that. Now let's deactivate the quads, since we have baked our NavMesh. Now you will see that no matter how close to which area the character is. If I'm going to click to go to that area, you will see that the agent actually prefers to avoid the high cost area, and he will prefer to go to the lower cost, or at least the same cost, or pretty much the lower cost of anything of any area. Okay, so when creating a level, of course you need to think all of this stuff, especially on games like this, where you know pretty much the enemy AI is plays a pretty big role. Okay, so I'm going to end this video over here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can support me on patreon.com, where with $5 or more you can get access to a Google folder with all the scripts from the videos in the channel, and you can also buy some select individual projects, and in turn you help me create more videos, because you know all these videos take time to make, and time is money, and you know. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.